Yeah. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Get on Dave, and we're back. It's time for your NXT review, and as always, I have yet to watch it, so I'm going to watch it now and give you my segment by segment breakdown. Breakdown, I should say, not breakdown. It's a breakdown. I'm starting like a champ today. Ha ha! I'm very excited about this because it's become my favorite hour of wrestling every single week, and this week has been so damn good anyway. I'm hoping that they save this episode, the taping, to be a really, really good episode since wrestling has been so fucking great this week. I'm hoping it continues with my favorite form of wrestling right now, and that is NXT. So no more gilding the lily, no more keeping this going. Let's get right to the review, shall we, and get to the action. Let's go. So about 5 minutes in, and Sami Zayn kicks off the show. And that's totally fine. But here's the problem with Sami Zayn is that his promos is just, they're just hit and miss, let's face it. Sometimes he's fantastic on the mic, other times he's not. Tonight he was not. I don't really know why. I don't know if it's that I don't care about this feud. I mean, maybe it's because Kevin Owens is having great matches with everybody, and there's other guys that I'd rather see. And, you know, a lot of people have seen the Generico Kevin Steen feud for so many years. So maybe it's just not something we all want to rehash. I don't know, but I don't seem to care as much about this feud as I do with, like, seeing more Neville matches with him, which now is no longer possible, at least for the time being, or Finn Balor, or I'd like to see him in there with Hideo Itami. There's a bunch of guys I'd like to see him in there with, and you know, maybe it's also because Sami Zayn's been gone for a while, and epic sneeze. Yeah, epic sneeze. You know it's a good day when Dave has an epic sneeze, but you know it's okay. So anyway, but you know it's, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it why this promo didn't work for me, but it just wasn't fantastic. It's not like it was bad. It's just, I don't know. We'll see how the feud continues to boil out, shall we? 2 matches announced for the night. NXT Tag Team Champions Blake and Murphy will take on the Lucha Dragons, which you know is a little weird since they just debuted over on WWE. But hey, you can do both. Not a big deal. Tyson Kidd was for a long time. Not a big deal. And Bayley versus Emma. That should be interesting. That could be a really good match. So let's get back to the action. 7.5 minutes in, and Rhino is in the first match of the evening. Did not get paid by the minute. Comes in. They don't even announce who his opponent is. In fact, during the brief match, if you want to call it a match, they just referred to him as his opponent. So, quick suplex and right into a gore. Boom. It's over. Rhino's awesome. He's so intense. It's a lot of fun to watch. Fans love him, so that's great. And then he cuts a promo. He's here for the NXT title. That's it. And he's going to gore through everybody. He calls out basically the entire locker room and lets them know that there's a gore with all their names on it. And that's awesome. And I love Rhino's intensity. See, there's some screaming promos that work, and his is one of them. So more Rhino is good for me. I like to see more Rhino. However, I'd like to see him against better competition. And I don't know if just burying these NXT guys, including someone like, we don't even know who it was that was in the ring, is necessarily a good idea. But you know what? It's okay to learn the jobber trade. You got to learn that, and you got to pay your dues. And even in NXT, where it is all about paying your dues, sometimes you got to do the nasty job to a guy like Rhino. And that's cool because it feels like it's turning into more of an actual complete federation when you think of things like that. When you see guys that are coming in more established and having matches like that, it feels like more of a federation. My wife is giving me the goddamn stink eye again because I'm talking. I'm sorry that this is my only outlet in life. Oh, because she has to make her coffee. Turn on the coffee maker. Go ahead. Do it.
No.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Finish your thing.
Well, I would have had you not interrupted me.
I did.
You with looks. My head hurt because I felt you staring at it. I felt holes in my head. And that was because of you. You see what I have to deal with on a daily basis? I don't even know what I was talking about. Rhino, good. NXT, better. I'm going back to the matches. Here we go. About 18 minutes and 18 seconds into the event, we have another match, Bayley versus Emma. Very good match. Okay, now I want to tell this little story. I just watched the match. My wife is sitting here on the couch with me, and she's playing her little video game phone shit, which she always does. Not really paying attention to the match. She's like glancing up and watching and stuff. And at the end of the match, she goes, well, that was boring. And she wasn't watching the match. I don't think that it was very fair. And she's not a huge wrestling fan. I mean, she watches some with me. But if you watch the match, there was a story being told. And I like that. I'm actually really glad she said that because it allows me to kind of talk about there's different types of matches. While the action in the ring itself might have not been spectacular between Emma and Bayley, they told a story in the ring. Now, it's in the eye of the beholder if it was an interesting story, but what we saw was Emma coming down and almost mocking herself. Not taking her gimmick seriously because she's realizing that she needs to be more of a badass if she wants to get over and everything. And the stupid Emma gimmick wasn't working. So she's kind of changing. And she's becoming more of a badass. And she's trying to convince Bayley to do it as well. I also noticed that Bayley, her shirt was worn by AJ Lee on Monday Night Raw, which I think is awesome that Divas are promoting the NXT Divas. I think that's awesome, by the way. I really do. So during the match, Emma's kind of just goading her into a more aggressive style of wrestling. And it's quite interesting how it goes. I mean, Bayley gets the roll up after Emma doesn't take her very seriously. And even after the match, Emma's very disjointed. She's smiling to Bayley's face. And as soon as Bayley turns around, it's dour. It's nice. It's the beginning of a storyline, what we're seeing. And I don't think it happens enough in wrestling, especially in the Divas division, where we see the beginnings of a breakdown. I mean, in WWE storytelling and creating right now and creative, after this match, they just would have had Emma attack Bayley and then the story's complete. But instead, what they do here in NXT is they continue the story to slow burn a little bit, and we see more of an evolution and possibly even de-evolution. The evolution of Emma and maybe the de-evolution of Bayley. And what I mean by de-evolution is I feel that they're going to have her regress to a more primal state while Emma is leaving the camp and she's already there, but she's trying to find herself in more of an aggressive form and bring a friend along for the ride. I think it's a really cool story. Not the greatest match because there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of in-ring action, but if you like psychology and you like storytelling, it's kind of a clinic. So, I don't know. I hope you guys watch that match and you tell me what you think of it because I thought it was a cool match. Back to the action. I believe we're about to get a Becky Lynch promo, so let's check that out. 19 minutes and 38 seconds in. Becky Lynch with a promo. Pretty damn good promo, man. You know what? Fantastic promo. One of the better diva promos I've heard in a very long time. And it kind of just came out of nowhere. Becky Lynch is upset at the fact that she hasn't gotten a singles match for the title. And she's very convincing in what she's saying. And I think she has the mic skills. I don't know about the ring skills yet, but definitely the mic skills to be taken a little bit more seriously within NXT. And she closes it by saying, "Welcome to NXT." I like that. That's kind of cool. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second. Let's get back to the action, and I believe it's Lucha Dragons versus Blake and Murphy. So let's check that out. About 29 minutes in, the match between the Lucha Dragons and Blake and Murphy are mercifully over. This is my problem with the Lucha Dragons. I don't know if it was because they were trying to do a different style match with Blake and Murphy. I don't really know why, but sometimes their matches can just seem flat, and that's how this match felt. It felt flat. It's not that it was bad. There was no botches. There wasn't any. The finish was good. Blake and Murphy they don't seem to match well with each other. I've seen Blake and Murphy do very good matches with other tag teams, but it always seems like their matches with the Lucha Dragons just come out flat, and I don't really know why. But it felt that way again. It was just, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of Kalisto in the match. I think that's something else I've really noticed in these matches that Lucha Dragons have with Blake and Murphy. It seems like there's not a whole hell of a lot of Kalisto, and that might be a problem because let's face it, Sin Cara has tried and failed in the WWE, whether it be the actual Sin Cara or who we have now, Hunico, in a Sin Cara mask. It hasn't worked. However, Kalisto, he works. And he's over. That guy is a spitfire, and it's crazy. When he's on, he does botch a lot, and luckily that did not happen on Raw. But when he's fired up and he's on, and he's hitting all cylinders, he's one of the most exciting guys in the business. So, and he's still very young too. So it's very interesting. I'm not saying the match was bad, but it really didn't capture my attention. So let's see what's next. About 30 minutes in, backstage segment. Sami Zayn being interviewed by Devin, who I think is terrible, and out comes Rhino to interrupt him and says, in case you didn't notice earlier, I'm here for the NXT title, and the line starts behind me. So maybe they're going to be teasing a Rhino and Sami Zayn program. That would be kind of interesting. Anything to get Rhino into the picture a little bit and let him season up some of these guys. I don't think a guy like Zayn really needs it because he's been in the business for so long. But it's very rare that wrestling a guy with the legitimacy and the good reputation that Rhino has is he ever going to hurt you. So I think that could be interesting. Anybody he works with is going to benefit from that. And so let's go ahead and see what's next here on NXT. About 38 minutes in, and Ty Dillinger versus Jason Jordan just happened. Jason Jordan looks like he's got some serious star potential. It looks like this guy can be the total package. He's got a great look, great body. He's a blue chip athlete. He's got a collegiate background. The guy looks like the type of person that the WWE likes to push. He's very big. I think he can be quite impressive. However, Ty Dillinger does not. And this was just a very lackluster match because you had one guy who seemed to want to go one direction, and the other guy just didn't want to play ball. It almost looked like Ty Dillinger was sandbagging Jason Jordan a little bit to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it. I don't know. But it seemed like it. Ty Dillinger just didn't seem to be into the match at all, and maybe he'll be leaving soon. I have no idea. But I just say that looked like a very uninspired match. It wasn't very fun to watch. But all that being said, I am pretty high on Jason Jordan. I think this guy could be quite a asset to NXT and potentially WWE in the future. He's still very green though, but that's what you're going to see on NXT. This is what NXT does. You get a whole bunch of matches that run the gamut, between really good and just kind of like, but you're seeing different talents and different levels of development. And I think that's really awesome. And now we get to the main event and we're going to see, Tyler Breeze and Hideo Itami in a 2 out of 3 falls match. There's not a lot of time left, about 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes. So it's going to be interesting how they're going to be able to do this in a 2 out of 3 falls match, but it should be very good. These guys work great matches together. So let's get to the main event. Should be interesting. So the end of the evening, Tyler Breeze, Hideo Itami, 2 out of 3 falls. Hideo wins the first fall fairly quickly. Tyler Breeze goes and plays possum in the corner and is able to hit a beauty shot to win the second fall very quickly, ties it up. So it all comes down to the third fall. And let me tell you, these guys did not disappoint. This is why NXT is so good. Because even after a night where the wrestling's kind of and there's weird things going on. I mean, there were some very good storytelling moments throughout the show, but it wasn't a fantastic wrestling show until the main event. Main event happened, and all bets were off. It was incredibly well done. Yet again, Tyler Breeze, Hideo Itami, they've had a great rivalry here. They've wrestled a lot of matches against each other in NXT, in a short period of time, and they've all been entertaining, and this was very good. It was a good way to end their rivalry. I believe it's the end, with Tyler Breeze picking up the victory with the beauty shot out of nowhere. Great move. Awesome finish. And Hideo Itami doesn't really look weak, because losing in a 2 out of 3 falls match in that type of fashion doesn't really hurt you. But it does kind of seem like Hideo might be being used as an enhancement talent. He's there because he has so much credibility, and he's so damn good in the ring that he can enhance some of these younger guys like Tyler Breeze. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you don't want to do it too much, because you don't want to become late stage Chris Jericho. And I say that with all reverence to Chris Jericho. I'm a big Chris Jericho fan. But if you look at the last chapter of his career, he comes in, he rests on his laurels, his past accomplishments, and then ultimately he loses. It's what he does. He loses constantly. And you don't want Hideo Itami to become that. And I don't think he will. I think it's just a little bit of a cool phase to go through right now. So it is what it is. Good match, great main event. Solid show. Not a great show, but it was solid. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't boring. It wasn't not entertaining. It was just different. We saw different talents at very different stages of their development. And we saw very unique ways of telling stories inside of the ring. It really seems like NXT is trying to do something a little bit different while still being the WWE that we know. And that's why I have to go back to the word that I use more than any other when it comes to wrestling. When it's good wrestling, there's a balance. And that's what NXT felt like. Your main event was there. But by the way, it's boring if every match on the card is a multi-kick-out match and crazy and spot fest. You're going to get desensitized. That's what happened to Ring of Honor, and now not too many people give a shit. You want your matches on a card to build, because not only is each individual match telling a story, but the card has to tell a story. Each episode has to tell a story, and you want it to go and work into a crescendo. Now, you could have nights like Monday Night Raw where every moment's epic, and that's a rarity, though. You can't do it all the time, and WWE does not. So when you can get into a balanced mode like NXT is right now and have different talents, not even your top AAA guys, the huge blue chip guys that you have, if you can do that and consistently put these guys out there and they can be this good and entertaining, you've got something really special. And NXT is really special. So hope you guys enjoyed today's review of NXT. I had a lot of fun doing it as always. Tomorrow we will be coming at you with a smack diggity down review. In fact, I could do it today because it's already up. The Australian version is already out, so I could watch it. I might do that depending on how bored I get. I have no idea. But if any other news breaks throughout the day, believe me, Dead on Dave will be here to fix it. So you guys, thanks so much for supporting. Like, subscribe, and share as always. And make sure you check out my boy Tommy C over on Shot from the Point. We're doing great things in the crease. We had a huge episode last night. A lot of fun. We're going live again tonight, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be a great episode. Make sure you join us. Call in if you have any questions. And remember, my big flagship show this Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 hours of Dead on Dave live viewer questions. Call in, get your voice heard, and we will have some discussions. And I will see you guys a little bit later, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.